What is the cruelest thing your PC did? Let us know in the comments below, you little devils. My chef Rogue was asked to make someone's steak medium rare, but I ended up making it well done because he was rude to one of the waitstaff. My players are usually pretty chill, but one session, everyone randomly got really giddy about torturing the fuck out of a goblin for information. By the way, he didn't have any information. My character is a level 10 bard of the College of Eloquence, but don't take bard to mean entertainer by any stretch. She is a powerful manipulator of people who weaves lies and intimidation to bend the world in her favor. She is not funny, she is not kind, but she is very effective. She has developed a plan to remove the troublesome son of a local lord who has been hampering the party's investigation into recent werewolf attacks. Entitled Short-Tempered and Violent, he takes advantage of his position and terrorizes the women of the town by night, and by day, he refuses to let them be questioned by the parties despite an escalation in werewolf attacks. He needs to be taught a lesson. The night is windy and rainy. She knocks at his door, putting on a dramatic show of her desperate need for safety and convincing him to let her inside. She requests a clean, dry set of clothes and a room to get changed in, and she asks him to stay by the door so she feels safe. She changes clothes, deliberately leaving the door open to attract his eye, recounting as she does so a terrible tale of the miserable night she has had, casting, in the process, enthrall, so he struggles to perceive any creature other than her. He does not notice a gathering of men in the street below. She leaves the window unlocked. She asks to stay the night. He only has one bed. She says she doesn't mind. In fact, she promises him the night of his life if he just allows her to cast a simple charm upon the both of them, a little magical enhancement, an act of thanks for his kindness. She casts catnap on him and he falls unconscious. The group of men gathered outside have come from the local tavern. Husbands, brothers, and sons of victims of these werewolf attacks, with whom last night she shared her experiences, proving that this lordling is indeed the monster they fear. She gathers her things, and before she leaves, she lights a candle at the open window, a signal they know to expect. They climb inside, they find the bedroom, and they gut him in his sleep. He is not the werewolf. She knows this, just someone who had it coming. DM in the game had presented the party with a monster that had multiple stages. Every time the party defeated it, it would come back in a new form after a round or two. After taking it down for the third time, my druid got tired of it and cast Stone Shape to form a sealed sarcophagus around the monster. Ended up putting it in a suffocation death loop until it finally succumbed. My artificer killed over 40 guardsmen with 2 glyphs of warding in a narrow passageway. Absolutely traumatizing for him and the party. It was the first session, and my barbarian was trying to establish his character's independence and refusal to lean on the support of others, etc. I had an NPC accompany them on their first mission because the NPC's husband had been killed on a scouting mission by the enemy they were pursuing. When the party found the body of the husband on their way to the enemy lair, I had the NPC ask the barbarian, the only visibly strong person in the party, if they would help carry the body back to town to bury it. He refused without explaining. I was honestly shocked because I didn't expect the possibility that they'd refuse. I thought it was so minimal. But I am so glad he did it because it was a good role-playing moment, and it forced the reluctant cleric to help carry the body on the way back, which was also a great character moment. Do you know Doru from Curse of Strahd? You know, the boy who was turned into a vampire by Strahd and locked in the church basement by his dad to protect him? Well, to protect him and others, he was paralyzed with the amulet of Ravenkind, folded like a pretzel and stuffed into a locked wooden chest, with the initial intent to find a cure. The chest is sent into another plane of existence when not summoned. And there Doru remains, unable to move, unable to breathe, unable to die, starving, forgotten. New to D&D and made a chaotic good character, so like, not much with that game. But I made some hecking choices in thirsty sword lesbians. Oh god. We had a one-shot where it was up to us to decide whether to bed, wed, or behead an evil queen. She kept invading neighboring lands to get more powerful and wealthy. Her husbands kept dying. My friend ran into the party planner guy who was killing the husbands so that he could keep planning great weddings, and her character romanced the serial killer guy. There was no way I was equipped to kill the queen without her help. So, I did a hard left turn and just married her. The epilogue was full villain arc for my character. I had an elf that was a magus, an enemy. To get back at me, killed a very young ward of mine. In retaliation, I told him I'd unravel him from the inside out. So I cut his stomach and, like a piece of yarn, pulled out his intestines. In an evil one-shot, we needed some magic from the horn of a unicorn to save our kingdom. It turned out we could have just asked the unicorn for some rubbings of its horn, but instead we held it down and ripped the horn right off its head. My chaotic evil 12-year-old halfling street urchin with the Eye of Vecna was getting tired of the tongueless monk in the party writing notes to communicate. She cut out the tongue of a bandit the party fought, waited till the night, and then tried to stitch it into the monk's mouth, then cast Raise Dead on it. The monk woke up horrified with an undead tongue trying to wriggle down his throat. She later got magically de-aged 8 years and also ended up with all the Vecna parts. A cursed sword told my fighter character that it was hungry for an innocent soul. Cue a homeless brother-sister combo who comes up to them asking for some spare change. She, by really good and bad rolls by both sides, was able to convince them that she had some tasty food back in her room at the tavern and followed her into an alleyway. She was able to sneakily slaughter the pair, drain them of their essence, and dump the pile of bones into the trash without the tavern master or the guard seeing. I was pretty impressed and terrified. One of my characters has been consistently using her Curse of Searing Sanguine throughout the campaign. Blood boiling. She's also been going through the process of becoming a lich, so she eats the souls of random birds, fish, and whatever else to sustain herself. She's also been roping people into evil soul contracts because, you know, that's fun. First session. My PC bought a slave from an auction. The city has some real fucked up systems at play in this campaign. He led the slave to his boss and assured them that they'd probably not die, just work a life of servitude like the others. When my PC entered the room, though, the boss made it clear that the forge needed a human sacrifice, and after some agonizing deliberation, my PC slaughtered the fellow and fed him into the forge. My comrades didn't get over that for weeks. How could you console him that he wasn't going to die and then murder him? In my PC's defense, he really didn't think the slave was going to live. Joined the big bad halfway through the campaign. Stayed with the group. At the climax, I killed the whole party. Meticulously. Disjunction to destroy all their items and erase their buffs, and then killed them each with a different spell. The Planeswalker Ranger caught a dimensional anchor into a maw of chaos. The Paladin ate a glass strike into a cherry trap with a mace. The Favored Soul took a black blade of disaster to the face. Now this was back in 3.5. A 20th level wizard was basically untouchable, plus the DM had a lot of poorly balanced homebrew rules too. In DM-approved backstory, using lay on hands to assist with blood-eagling surrendered warriors in front of their families. When the Conquest Paladin asks a simple question, you should probably just tell him what he wants to know. In-game, probably a sci-fi campaign, spacing about 20 unconscious pirates. In that character's defense, he was a literal murder bot, and the logic was it was kinder than manually killing them. He got pulled into a meeting with HR for that one. We kept trying to interrogate these Duergar, but they kept finding ways to slip out of ropes and run off. So eventually, my guy got so pissed he chopped off his hands and feet, and after he got his answers, put him back in a sack and stuck him in the back of the cart, feeding him occasionally. He's dead now. My rogue and the party's other rogue killed a room full of sleeping Duragar guards a couple of months ago. Our barbarity completely traumatized the party's ranger, but it did add a little credibility when we politely asked the next guard we snuck up on for directions. I often play with my GM one-on-one, so we don't have any usual group constraints. I can only really describe the lighter things my PC did and or leave out the details cause it can get quite dark for this subreddit. There were many inappropriate themes. So, my PC doesn't have any memory about his childhood cause he was abducted by the Moon Witch. She blocked his memories. Moon Witches are quite extravagant and they love freedom, in the spirit of libertinism, DeSod, and so on. My PC tried to escape, and he did it during their holiday. On the first day, he was forced to fight against 3 girls. He convinced the most naive girl to fight by his side, and when she was the only one left, well, he killed her. He cut her stomach, and from her guts, a moon creature was born. Well, he could refuse to fight or refuse to help the witches summon this creature. He would be punished in that case, but you know, his life was not really in danger. But he was just curious and dizzy with the attention. What else? Well, he drank uterine blood. It's just because it was offered to him, and the witches said that it had some psychoactive effects. Then there was a girl who hated him and tried to kill him. He decided she was into him and made some traps to kidnap her. I'll leave out what came next. Long story short, she developed some sort of Stockholm syndrome. When they both escaped the witch's demiplane, he abandoned her and ran away, but left her a letter. Later, my real sister said it gave away Ted Bundy vibes. Yeah, I'm getting that from you right now. He cast suggestion on the girl in love with him to coerce her to join an orgy with other girls, but only because he liked her. He also sacrificed about 300 peasants as part of his plan to escape the world. I don't know, he doesn't have much in the way of moral boundaries. There were other betrayals and cruel actions similar to the ones described. Yeah, I think they made a show about you. It was something called Monsters Ed Gein or something. Yeah, I don't like this guy. My paladin punching someone, then immediately using lay on hands or cure wounds for information, then repeating the process over the course of several hours. Or when he cut off parts of someone just to heal them so they wouldn't bleed out. So they'd still miss the body part, but the wound would be healed. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what is the cruelest thing your PC did. And don't be like Captain Ed Gein or Richard Ramirez up there. Try to make it a little less cruel, please. Or a little less creepy. That said, we love you all, and if you ever want to support the channel, you can do so by checking out our socials or making sure to join our membership program. We love you to pieces, so please stay happy out there and be as safe as you can be. See you next time, toodaloo.